I'm Nick Grillet. I'm going to show you guys how I pack a Sabre2. Pretty much the same pack job, whether it's a Sabre2 stiletto, anything made by Precision, Icarus, PD, Aerodyne, you name it. Pretty much pack everything the same. First thing that I do, I like to weight down the rig. One of the important things is to have proper line tension during the pack job. I've got my weight here on the risers, whether you're packing in a hanger, on grass, tarp, figure out a way that you can secure the rig so that you can give some good tension on those lines to keep them straight. Start by picking the steering lines up and laying them on the index finger, and then grabbing those rear risers in between my index finger and my middle finger. And in between my middle finger and my ring finger, I pick up those front risers and I walk up the lines. It's basically a continuity check. It allows me to make sure that the jumper, if it wasn't me, didn't flip through the lines or anything on landing. So I give it a quick check, make sure that the steering lines are clear, which they are. The C's and D's, which they are, and the A's and B's. And then I throw it over my shoulder. It's comfortable for me to throw it over my shoulder as opposed to just hold it in my hand. It's all personal preference. First thing that I do is grab the C's and D's and the A's and B's and give the canopy a good shake left to right. It's essentially the same thing as if you were to start on the ground and do a flat pack. What it allows for is the canopy to lay flat instead of being bunched up from any air that might be in the canopy or any wind that may be out there that this jumper was struggling with while he was picking up his canopy. So once I do that, I'm just going to go and I'm going to start and do a normal flake job, just like anything else. Sabre2 happens to be a 9 cell, so there should be 9 of these cells that I'm going to count out. I'm not too concerned about where the cell is going to place when I'm actually flaking. I'm more concerned about the line attachment points here, up here by the slider. Those are what I really want to have equal. So I'm just going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Flatten those out a little bit, get some air out. I can see that all these line attachment points look good. They're in place so that I know the canopy is going to be easy for me to pack. I secure it between my legs. Again, personal preference. Some people don't even secure the nose. I find especially starting packing, it's easier to keep stuff under control that way. I'm just going to lift up the slider, and there's a pocket that's kind of created between the A line and the B lines. I think everybody has learned from any packing class that they've taken that the canopy material goes to the outside, the lines go to the center. I'm looking through here and seeing that my line attachment points are pretty much lining up, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. So I work my way through the pack job, pushing the material to the outside, keeping those lines to the inside. Helps because I have longer arms. Move down to the stabilizer and these steering lines. I'm not going to mess with them right now. I'm basically just going to clear them out of the way. Get every last one of them in line. Because it's a 9 cell, there's 5 lines here, line attachment points that I need to deal with. Stow that there for now. This just gets you a better idea of what it looks like from the packer's point of view. So as I reach my hand down in there, you can see that all these line attachment points are pretty much in line. I'm going to just reach my hand into that open fabric here, push the canopy fabric to the outside while trying to keep these line attachment points to the center. I'd really like to have these line up as best as possible. I just put my hand on the outside to lay those nice and flat. We look into the next one here, and we can see where all that material is. We know exactly where we're going to put our hand. We can see the line attachment points. I'm going to put my hand in there. This is why I put my hand on the top side, on the outside of the pack job. It helps me keep those line attachment points in place. And if we just pull that stabilizer off to the side a bit, you can see that everything's nice and neat in there. Once we go further on, it gets a little more challenging because there's any taper that may occur or any elliptical. These are the steering lines. I'm not worried about them. I'm just getting them out of the way. Here's 4. Those are the really easy ones to find. This 5th one is over here hidden on the stabilizer itself. I want to make sure that we find that every time. Grab all of those together. I like to keep my hand on the 5 align attachment points while I do this. I go back, materials to the outside, all these line attachment points are towards the center of that canopy. And then I straighten out those steering lines. Everything's good here. These are all in line. I'm just going to lay the stabilizer on top. If you happen to have snaps on your canopies, this is where you would connect those. And then I just allow that slider to go back into position as I work the other side. That's basically one side. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side now. Kind of pull up that slider grommet so that I can see in there. Material goes to the outside of the canopy. I keep my hand on here to keep those line attachment points to the center. And again, I work my way through the canopy like so. If you notice, I'm kind of leaning away from the rig. I'm keeping line tension. I want to make sure that there's not any slack in my lines. It's very important. These are the steering lines. I'm just going to take those out to the side. So basically I've done the flaking that I need to do. Doesn't take too long. Fabric to the outside, line attachment points to the center. Now a couple of very important things need to take place. I need to make sure that my slider grommets are all the way down on the stops. If they're up here and I'm starting to roll the tail up, it's a good chance that I'm going to experience a hard opening because the slider's not in position. You'll see a lot of people pull a slider out here and make a pocket in a lip. All that does is when you pull the slider that direction, whether it's towards the tail of the canopy, towards the nose of the canopy, you end up taking some of the slider away from the sides here, and whichever direction you're pulling it from. So if I'm pulling it towards the nose, I'm pulling it away from the tail and from each side. The best thing that you could do is take your index finger and push it straight down in between that slider until you feel some tension on that. That ensures that your grommets are down all the way and that your slider's pretty much in position. After that, I just kind of clean it up a bit and make sure that there's equal parts left to right, nose to tail. Also, while I'm here, I can see if my risers are straight. If my grommets are lined up, I know my risers are straight. If my grommets are offset, I know there's something going on behind me. I don't need to turn around and look to fix it. I can just do whatever I need to do to straighten it right here at the slider. Once that everything's in position, I'm going to go through one more time and just make sure that this nose hasn't get tucked away or pushed in or anything. I don't do anything to the nose. I leave it just like that. Some people push it in. That's fine if that's the opening that you desire. Some people roll it. For starting out, for teaching people how to pack, I don't do anything. Once you have your canopy and you're making the jumps on your canopy, if you want to experiment with your pack job to see what makes a difference and try to find an opening that you like the best, go for it. But know that we've done a lot of testing as well, individual skydivers and everything else, and we've found that keeping the nose straight gives us the most consistent openings.